welcome to tonight's live Yin Yoga class. Today's class will be based around the soles of our feet. This is a request that was asked in last week's session, so I hope that whoever made that comment is here today. If not, that you at least can come back to it. So in the meantime, we will be needing pillows as props. That is our main prop. If you are uncomfortable with forward fold, so if you have low blood pressure, a chair is advised. But I will also give you a trance or a different variation in case you do not have a chair or do not want to use one. So this is the Yin Yoga while you get your pillows ready. If you are someone who is struggling with like plantar fasciitis or any um, tension in your feet, you can do this in your own practices. Take golf balls or tennis balls or anything really that you can use to place underneath your feet, and then you can roll your roll onto the pressure points to where you feel any pain or anything like that. So based off of what our feet are, I just want to give you the Chinese medicine is it is connected to the kidney meridian. So, and that begins in the soles of your feet. And then working here supports grounding, fear release, and adrenal balance. So it's especially powerful during stress, big life transitions, or emotional processing. But as we know with yoga, you can process emotion through any part of your body. So if you, for instance, have higher tension in your back, it means you have uncried tears, which is also very interesting. So, having that being said, I hope you have all of your props ready, and this is Karma Yoga. So, again, I want to ask that you write in the comments the good deed you intend to do for someone in your community. So, last week was to write a positive review for a local business. Maybe this week it could be something as simply as waving to someone who you usually wouldn't wave to on the street, or giving a ride to someone who is, depending on what side of the world you're in South Africa, there's lots of people walking. So if you're on a community road in your complex or something, you can give someone a ride. And also, if you comment your good deed, it also reinforces your will to actually do it and maybe encourages other people to do it. So, having that being said, let's get started at the middle of our mat. If you have sensitive knees, please place a pillow underneath and bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders into this tabletop position. And then bring your toes underneath you to be tucked so we can stretch out to the backs of our feet. Part of Yin Yoga is that we will be holding these poses for 3 to 5 minutes. So don't try and push too hard so early on. Let's just hold here, pushing firmly into your mat. You'll even feel your shoulders lifting up and out, bringing your gaze directly in front of you, spreading those fingertips wide, and see even if you can spread your toes even wider, stretching out the back of your feet. Taking a few conscious breaths here. You might want to play with your breath. Start counting on the inhale and see as you exhale if maybe you can exhale slightly longer than what the inhale was. Still pushing firm into your hands. Start by untucking the left toes, but keeping the right ones behind you still tucked. And then you might want to rock a little bit backwards and forwards. You'll find that you're also stretching your wrists here, applying more pressure onto the right toes as you spread them out. It's just nice to isolate them here rather than directly, I guess, focusing on both of them. When you've got one to focus on, you can kind of singularize maybe even each toe as you are breathing. Your eyes closed. You're more than welcome to be doing this in dim light, as this is a very slow class. Again, bringing your attention back to your hands and pushing firmly into those right toes again, stretching out your feet, allowing your shoulders to still be strong. Maybe even bring your awareness to your core, hugging your belly in towards your spine, bringing your shoulder blades slightly in towards each other. You're still strong through every point of your body here, is doing some sort of work. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, you can untuck the right toes. And then on your next inhale, you can tuck your left toes back. And then at least your right toes can relax. Maybe focus on each toe by spreading your toes very wide. And then even if you have to lift your foot off the mat first, and then as they are wide, you place them back, pushing them firmly into the mat. Then your awareness back to your shoulders and your upper body, pushing those hands firmly into your mat here. Imagine you've got a wall in front of you, or imagine your hands weren't so steady and you could just fall at any second. So you're pushing away, allowing your strength to kind of counteract what gravity could impose. Maybe rocking backwards and forwards to encourage a deeper stretch. Just a couple more seconds. And long conscious inhales. Imagine on your next exhale that you are releasing any stress from the day. And then when you're ready, tuck in both toes again. So both feet have your toes tucked in. And then just bring your awareness to your wrist. So you might start by lifting the base of your palm up, still keeping your fingers onto the mat in an alternate way so that you aren't putting more pressure on maybe your core, and still focusing on strengthening your wrists. And then take one wrist and push or bring your palm, the back of your hand, onto the mat and your palm facing up towards you. And then if you feel comfortable, you can do the other one. This time, obviously not pushing all your pressure into your wrist, just slightly, as if you're trying to hover here off the mat. It might be challenging, so you might even want to do the gorilla arms and bring your palms facing each other, and then going one at a time, opening and closing, so that we can at least strengthen our wrists. We're focusing on what we don't usually bring awareness and attention to when we exercise or stretch. After a few wrist stretches here, you can untuck your toes and then grab a pillow and place it in between your legs. So your feet here are separated. They're about mat distance apart, so a little bit wider than your hips. And then you can make, I'm going to tell you first how many pillows, I can't tell you how many pillows you'd like to use. So try it out just as long as you, when you sit back, it feels comfortable. The whole point in this is a saddle pose. So you might even feel you can move the excess skin or flesh in between your legs by your thighs and your calves, and then sit back down, which will allow you to go lower down into the pillow. If one pillow is not enough, we have many. So sit on as many as you feel like until you know that you're sitting quite comfortably into the pillow. Once you've realized your gauge on your pillows, lift up again off your hips, tuck your toes in behind you, and then lower down. You might find that you'll need another pillow, and that is okay, because the whole point is we're going to be holding it for some time, so you don't want extra stress. You might need to walk your knees out slightly more, or even feel the need to put pillows underneath your knees. It's, again, whatever feels right for you in this moment. So now sitting quite firmly, you'll feel the stretch in your toes and the backs of your feet. You might even want to grab the heels of your feet and see if you can lift them up while you push your chest up and forward And then look up towards the ceiling or the sky, opening your throat chakra here, or just stretching out the throat, dropping your shoulders down, but still protruding your chest forward, radiating in confidence and lifting up from the soul. This might be a little bit challenging to hold for so long. So then all you do is lift up, give your feet a little bit of a break, maybe pat it, and then get back into it. But we've only got 30 seconds more, so try and breathe through the discomfort. On your inhale, your chest is lifted up, and in your exhale, bring your awareness to your belly, creating space. Take one more inhale here. Feel the burn, lifting your heels up, and then as you exhale, lift up off your heels and all your pillows. Untuck your toes, and then just sit back down for a nice calming break after what we've just done. And then you can either take the pillows, if you don't have enough, out from underneath you. But if you do have enough, try to bring a pillow a little bit on top of your knees, and then keeping your toes untucked, lift one knee and then place it onto the pillow, and then lift another knee and place it onto the pillow. This might be enough for you to feel a nice stretch in the front of your shins. If you would like a deeper stretch, just sit back onto your heel or your pillows and put your hands on your feet. If that is uncomfortable, you can also walk your hands back, and then again look up towards the ceiling, dropping your shoulders back and down, and just feeling that stretch in the front of your feet and your shins, with your eyes closed and conscious breathing. If you'd like to intensify, you can always play around with maybe lifting one knee up and then lowering it down, and then the other knee and then lowering. It's also nice because to distract your mind and always be in one pose, or to just sit here like this, can be quite challenging. So if you're lifting the one and then the other with your breath, it helps you to distract your mind from just sitting in the pose. Then you might find you can even add another pillow underneath your knees if you're flexible enough or in the mood for a challenge. And if not, you can just simply be here and drop your head back if it feels comfortable on your neck. If your neck is sensitive, you can keep your chin tucked in, which will also allow you to bring your awareness to your belly, so you can try and activate your core here if you are looking for a little bit of a challenge. So nice to have different variations because you can just go wherever you feel. Got 30 more seconds, so enjoy this one. Last extended inhale, feeling your chest lift slightly. Maybe make it a full belly inhale. So if your head is pulling back, maybe tuck your chin into your chest. Bring your awareness now to the front of your body because you can see everything. You've got the best angle. As you inhale, start to inhale from your belly. So watch your belly rise, followed by your ribs, and then lastly your chest. And then as you exhale, drop your chest first, followed by your ribs, and then lastly sucking in that belly. Okay, on your next inhale, slowly, because we did get into this quite quickly, but let's slowly walk our hands, if they are further out, towards your heels so that your spine is straight and in line with your hips. And then just lean a little bit forward, tuck your toes in underneath you, and allow your weight onto your pillows or the mat, wherever it feels right for you, to see if you can push up and out into a standing. And if it's not as accessible for you, meet me standing at the top of your mat. So the pillows we were sitting on, you can place to the side for now, keeping the one pillow still in front of you. So walk onto your pillows so that your feet are elevated slightly, so the front of your feet are elevated, but your heels are still pushed firmly into the mat. So we're going to spend about a few seconds here just to feel the stretch of our feet. Sorry if you can't see my face. And maybe even stretch your toes nice and wide. Push firmly into the pillow. Drop your shoulders down. Push your chest out slightly. Hands out to your side. So we're doing a little bit of a mountain pose here, Tadasana. Focusing on your breath. Imagine you've got blocks in between your thighs or a pillow. You can even use a pillow if you would like. And then have a pillow in between your thighs and you're hugging it in so you still feel quite active in your lower region and your shoulders are down, stretching your toes. And imagine you are grounding here through the soles of your feet. So in your heels specifically, take one long inhale. And then as you exhale, imagine there are roots coming out from the bottom of your heels. Now on your next inhale, feel your chest rise, and then as you exhale, only imagine roots coming out from the right heel, not your left. Okay, if you have the pillow in between your thighs, you can remove it, or your imaginary block or something holding it in. Take your left foot and just step over the pillow and see how it feels as you're stretching the back of your foot here. So if you aren't feeling much of a stretch, you might have to step onto the pillow to get a little bit more of an elevation. Oop, and maybe lose your balance a bit. And then rock a little forwards and backwards to see how your foot stretches. Usually and ideally we would use a block instead of a pillow because it would give you a proper elevation and more stability. But that's okay. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, step back, placing the foot still elevated, so both feet are elevated onto the pillow. And this, if you are pregnant, you can wait until I finish cueing the first part of it and do what I'm doing. If you are not, it does not matter. So inhale, bring your arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips and grab opposite elbow and just hang. If you would like to have a little bit more space between you or something to relax onto, you can hang with a pillow between your hips here, the hip crease, to give you a little bit more of a downwards and passive stretch than the active trying to reach and forward fold. We're focusing more on the toes, so keep your toes flexed and your feet activated. Your feet, I think I said feet, it sounded like feet. If you are pregnant and you don't want to hold it for too long, you can grab that pillow, place it in between your thighs again, and then drop down into a chair pose. More challenging, but more rewarding in some senses. And for those who have a chair accessible, you're more than welcome to just sit on a chair and then have the same pose. We won't be here for too long. For anyone who has high blood pressure, I would suggest you do, or low blood pressure, I'd suggest you do this variation versus going below your knees. If you are holding opposite elbow, you might want to sway a little side to side. It's whatever works best for you. And then as you exhale on your last one, if you're in chair, you can come to standing. If you are in your forward fold, inhale, straighten your spine, looking about 30 centimeters in front of you into a flat back. Activate your shoulder blades. Place your hands on your hip. Hug your thighs in towards each other. Hug your core in. And slowly rise back up. If you have a pillow, you can remove it. If you do not, then you're already in the next pose where you can step now in front of your pillow. This time, the front of your feet are pushed firmly into the mat and your heels are up. So if you want a more elevation, you just stack your pillows or walk back to a point where Your pillow gives you that variation that you feel comfortable with. We are going to lower into a Malasana squat. So maybe step your feet as wide as the mat, and you can make the adjustments of stepping wider if it feels more comfortable. But from now, lowering down with your knees pushing out towards opposite ends of the room. If you are not sitting directly on your pillow and you're not there yet, that's more than fine. Just grab another pillow until you are almost sitting. So you're not firmly, like, it's not a comfortable seat, but you have something as some sort of support. And again, stack the pillows to your level and then try to bring your elbows to the outer edges of your knee and your hands in a prayer position. It really helps to have the heels elevated here so that we can sit quite firmly into this Malasana squat. It always helps to have your elbows in between your knees so that you can push them out, and sitting with your chest pushing up. You might even find that, when you learn to catch a ball, they say follow the ball. It's the same kind of concept in yoga. Close your eyes and imagine or follow the direction of where you're trying to go. So because we want our chest open and our shoulders out, maybe look slightly up, and that might help direct your chest to follow through to the direction that you want it to go. Remember those roots coming out from underneath your feet. This time it's not on your heels, it's the balls of your feet and your toes. You might even want to distract yourself by bringing your awareness to each toe. So you might start with the right foot, lifting the pinky, and then spreading it away from the other toe and then pushing it down. Then the next toe, lifting it up, spreading it, and then planting it down. And just ripple through all of your toes one at a time in your own time and breath. I know this is starting to feel less like yin in terms of the relaxation part, but we're getting there. And I just realized we forgot to do the other side of that heel stretch. So you can place your hands down onto your mat and then see if you can rock a little bit forward as if you're going to go into a crow, but we're definitely not doing that today. Just rocking slightly and then lifting up and then walking back over your pillow. And then because we did the right side, we're going to do the left, or whatever side you remember doing, just switch it over where you put your, I think it was the right, yeah. So you put your right foot into the mat. You imagine you have roots coming out of your heels, and then step over that pillow to have a little bit of that rock and that pull. So still pushing your heel into the mat and then moving your weight just slightly forward. Try not to lift it. Remember, the balance wasn't too great before. Maybe one side will be different than the other. And then just rock. If I did get the wrong side, because I don't know now, I'll have to play it back. Just switch over for a few breaths here. I always find when you're doing yin and you have candles and incense and low light, just put you in a different mood. Might have some meditation music on in the background. And then when you're ready, you can step over that pillow again. And then you can decide if you want to put one or two pillows. It's just to lift your hips off the mat slightly, and then bring your feet into a butterfly position. So soles of your feet are touching and your knees are spread out to the side. If you would like some extra support on your knees, you can place a pillow underneath them, especially if they are slightly higher than what you would like them to be. You can just place pillows until it reaches the height. So again, the more pillows, the merrier. If you are a seasoned yogi, you can put some blocks underneath, the bolster, whatever you have that will work. Your hips are out, and open your feet almost like a book. So you put your thumbs onto the front of your feet and see if you can push them open. And then slowly just massage your feet. This is our time for self-love and self-care. So feel free to massage your feet however you like. Maybe wiggle your toes, even move one toe at a time, rubbing into it or applying pressure. If you have that golf ball or tennis ball and you want to rewatch this later, you know you can place this somewhere in the soles or in between your feet, and you can actually push them into each other to allow a different type of massage. It's really what works best for you. We are going to be here for 3 moments, so I won't talk the whole time, but just allow yourself to massage and feel what intuitively feels right for you and your feet. So you might even want to lift a foot up and then grab it and actually work or knead through onto your feet if that also feels more aligned for you. Play around with flexing and pointing your toes, whatever you feel intuitively you need. And maybe think of the color red. That is the root chakra, and it just helps encourage the intention of today's practice. Remember to smile while you're doing this, as you know you're doing something good for yourself. Find the pressure points. Might want to switch to the other foot if you haven't already. We've got 2 more minutes. I should have told you guys to get some oils or lotions, and that would have also enhanced it better. Remember your breaths here. Make them long and intentional. See where they fill your body, whether it's in your belly, your ribs, or your chest. Try and direct it to your feet, maybe, or your root chakra, so the base of your spine, pushing firmly into that pillow. Feeling any pressure points that you might have and enjoying them. Any pain points, enjoying your long conscious breaths. You can place your foot back to reach the other one if you had lifted it up, or if you managed to massage them while they were connected, that's perfectly fine. Before we move to our next pose, let's see if we can encourage more weight onto the knees. So just bring one elbow to the one side and then your hand on the other, and see if you can push out just for one inhale, lifting your chest forward. And then as you exhale, see if you can lower your knees down towards the pillow. On your next inhale, push your chest up and then move over to the other side where one elbow is on the other knee or on the same knee, but your hand is pushing away. Maybe giving you a nice chest opener to the one side of the room. And then as you exhale, see if you can push it away just slightly. And then on your next exhale, you can bring your knees in towards each other and just give yourself a little bit of a hug and maybe rock side to side here on your pillow. To get into our next pose, keep your right foot in front of you. Flex your toes, lift them up, and then slowly plant them one at a time. Take your left leg. If you do have sensitive knees, you'll want a pillow to put your left knee onto it. But you just roll over, so you might have to make a little bit of an adjustment here without keeping your foot, but stepping your left leg back. So again, it's nice to have a pillow if you have sensitive knees. If you don't have sensitive knees and you can handle it, then you don't need the pillow and you can use it for something else. Into this nice low lunge, keeping your toes behind you tucked in, and then grab the pillow or a pillow and place it on your bent front knee in your right side and just lean forward. So this could be enough for you to still stretch the back of your toes or your foot and then lean your weight forward. Again, any adjustment you feel works for you is great. Rooting down through that front foot here. This is your stability. If you would like, you can even add extra pillows to bring the ground per se or the surface closer towards your face, and then leaning forward again. Allowing your shoulders and your ears to have space away from each other, and even hugging your shoulder blades in slightly. That is more than okay. Just connecting with your breath again. Bringing your awareness to the back toes, spreading them wide, pushing it out as if you're trying to reach or push your foot towards the back end of the room. And then see if you can lower your hips just a little bit more. Take one more long conscious inhale. And then one long exhale. And then slowly lift up off your pillows and bringing your weight slightly back. You can remove your pillows from your top knee. And then if you feel like you like to have your sit bones up because sitting is not as comfortable yet, or you want a more passive kind of practice today, you can put a pillow underneath your hips, or you can simply just take that right leg and bring it across your left knee and then sit back, taking that left foot out to the side. So just to give you an example as to what it looks like, this is shoelace pose. If you want to adjust into your seat again, you can put a pillow underneath you, grab opposite ankle, lift up and center yourself so that you are in lovely shoelace pose. To bring awareness to our feet, I want you to take your hands and interlace them in between your toes. So it's almost like you are holding hands with your feet. And just creating some space here. You might find that you want to move your hands or your feet, your toes in circles, or again, this is up to you and what you intuitively feel you would like to do. And just moving your toes and your feet. And sitting here firmly into your shoelace pose, keeping your chin parallel to the ground. And taking long, conscious inhales. And you might even find that at the top of one of your inhales, you want to open your mouth and sigh it out. Moving your hands and your feet if that's what feels right for you. But stretching your toes out wide. enjoying your breath. Massaging your toes with your hands interlaced into them. And then slowly, when you're ready, you can release your hands from your toes. And then just slowly roll forward. This time, untuck your knees behind you so you're in that initial tabletop position. And then step your left foot to meet your left hand. And then you're back in that same lunge position. So if you have sensitive knees, place that pillow underneath. Grab the 2 or 1 pillows that you had before. Place them on the bent left knee. And then you might even want to walk that front leg forward so that you can get into that low lunge kind of pose. And then tuck your right toes in underneath you. And then sit a little bit forward. So it helps if we're not sitting so back. We've really put quite a bit of strain onto our feet and our toes. So it helps to actually be able to lower it away, and it also gives you a different kind of stretch. Remember to drop the shoulders, shoulder blades back, and just keep a positive posture, maybe, for lack of better words, where your chest is a little bit forward. And you still have all of that weight onto the left foot. So imagine there's roots coming out from underneath them and sinking your hips lower if you can. We will be here for a few minutes, so enjoy it. Take deep breaths. If you feel any red zone discomfort, just untuck your toes or lift your weight or shift it slightly to wherever works best for you. And just enjoying the stretch here. You might even find if you want a more relaxed approach, you can lower your head onto the pillow or pillows. It'll also allow you to lower your hips slightly down again. Or even reaching for the ground if that also feels comfortable. Just a little constricting on the belly. Bring your awareness back to your toes, first behind you, spreading them wide. You might even want to lift that foot, spread them wide, and then plant them again, pushing quite firmly into your toes, as if you're trying to reach your foot back to the back of the room again. And then your awareness back to the front foot. You're doing very well here. Just a few more seconds. We've got this. Take one long inhale. And then on your exhale, you can lift off your elbows if you were on them. Remove the pillows from your knee. If you had that pillow underneath you in the first variation, please place it again. If not, then untuck the toe behind you and then bring your left knee across your right to just come to that seated shoelace pose on the other side. If you'd like to grab opposite ankle, lift up and wiggle to find a more rooted seat. So basically that you feel like you're on more even ground. You're more than welcome to do that. And then grab opposite foot and interlace your fingers in between your toes again. Quite interesting. The one side definitely felt more loose than the other. So I don't know if my fingers fit better on the other foot than the other. So it's like when you hold hands with someone and you say it just fits. It seems to be like that with my toes. uh, Sitting here quite comfortably, taking a few maybe side breaths, or if you'd like to practice a breathing technique just to focus your mind, maybe work on box breathing. So you can count your inhales for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4. So you can imagine you're drawing a box with your breath. So for example, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Carry that breath on for one more minute in your own time. You might find that you might be pushing a little forward, so just sit back. Even if your feet aren't firmly into the ground, you're holding them up anyways with your hands. So it doesn't matter. Just evening out your waist. Enjoying that breath for just a few more seconds. Move your hands to with your feet. So it's like wiggling your toes, but using your hands to do it. And then when you're ready and you finish that last round of box breathing or your last breath, you can release your hands from your feet, untuck or unroll your knees from each other, come back onto your knees. We're going to do broken toes position. So it is a very, very intense pose. I suggest you can put a pillow in between your hips and your um, calves, and then tuck your toes in underneath you, and then sit back. So you're using the weight of your body now to push down onto your toes. This is our second last pose, so we've got this. Just feeling nice and strong and sturdy. If you are at some point feeling like it's too much, just lift up, maybe get your toes on your mat, wiggle them, move your ankles, and then tuck them in again and get back into it. We are not here to hurt ourselves or to prove anything, simply to just improve whatever we wanted to, wherever we were maybe yesterday or even 5 minutes ago. If we want to just stay 1 second longer and then release, it's more than okay. We're almost done here. You might want to bring your awareness to your wrists if you want a little bit of a distraction. Maybe stretch your hands out in front of you by interlacing them and pushing a wall in front of you away. Say, no, we don't want to do this pose anymore. And then lifting it up. And then as you exhale, open your arms wide as if you're going to give a hug to your best friend or your mother or whoever you feel endearment to at the moment. And then on an inhale, push your chest forward, and then exhale, hug yourself chin to chest. I hope I'm distracting you well. And then on your next inhale, you can finally lift up, release the pillow, untuck your toes, and let's just get some energy into them to remind them that we still love them. um, walk a little bit forward to the front of your mat with your knees, and then cross your legs underneath you, and then come to a seat. So we're going to do a supported bridge. So this is one of the poses where I say the more the merrier when it does come to pillows. Grab a pillow in the meantime and make sure it's close to you, so they are close. Take your knees out or your feet out in front of you. They can be parallel from each other, about hips distance. We're going to start with looking at our toes. I know they are a little bit sensitive, so you might want to give a little bit of flexation and pointing into them if that feels comfortable. And then slowly and steadily you can move your hips towards your feet. So the closer your feet are to your hips, the better. You might even, when we lie down, so lower onto your elbows, see if you can brush the heels of your feet. If you can do that, it feels about right. Imagine there's a block and a pillow in between your thighs. If you would like to, you are more than welcome to place one in between your thighs if you are focusing on bringing them in towards each other. So before we do anything else, in this nice laying down supine position, push firmly into your toes. And you might even feel that as you push into your toes, you can lift your hips up slightly. Then actually raise your hips up and place a pillow or two or three or four, however many you would like, underneath your hips. And then once you reach your desired level of height, you can go higher up if you want a stronger back bend. I physically cannot at the moment, but you can stack it up as high as you want, and then slowly roll your shoulder blades underneath each other so that your chest is protruding up and out. If you would like, you can place your hands on your belly or firm and up beside you as if you've got a block in between you or something in between you. And then just keep your chin either tucked in or your gaze a little bit behind you. We will do something with our feet soon, but for now we're just giving it a little bit of a break. Enjoying this restful pose. You're in the perfect position to observe your breath and where it falls in your body. Take that opportunity. Chloe came to say hi. Hey, Chloe. For our last few seconds, bring your awareness back to your toes and flex them up off the mat. Instead of being planted into the mat, lift them up and spread your toes wide. You might find that you are comfortable to lift maybe your right leg up and straighten it to give some more flexion and stretch into your calf. Moving it up and down, maybe hovering it slightly above your mat, activating your core, then lifting it up towards your face and then lowering it down to hover off your mat. Bend your knee and then place your foot onto the mat again, keeping your toes flexed and up. This time lifting your left leg up bringing your toes toward your face, and then as you exhale, down to hover slightly above the mat. Activate your core here, flexing your toe, pushing your heel towards the opposite end of the room. Inhale, lift back up. And then as you exhale, lower down again. Let's do one more inhale back up. And then exhale, back down, bending your knees. As we get into Shavasana, this is our last pose of the day or the evening. You might even enjoy a long Shavasana when this is finished. You can keep staying in it, play some meditation or relaxing music in the background. This is the time to get it started. If you are ready, you can lift your hips up, slide the pillow slightly away from your hips to a point where it'll fall underneath your knees so that your knees are nice and supported. Then you can grab another pillow and place it underneath your head. If you are one of the pregnant moms watching this, you are more than welcome to lie on your side and place a pillow in between your thighs. For everyone else, stay here with your back pushed quite firmly into the mat. If you would like to receive an intention, you can place your hands or your palms upwards. But because we have focused on rooting down and grounding, it's more advisable, or I suggest that you have your palms facing down and start to relax every muscle. So if your lights are not already off or dimmed, you can do that. If I do that, you might get confused, so I won't. But start by relaxing, maybe from your feet, allowing your pinky toes to just fall to the side. And then relaxing every muscle. I know your feet have worked hard. So let's start actually from the top of our body today. So as you breathe in, think maybe of roots coming out from the body part that I mentioned as you release tension. Or you can think of the color red and you're sending that color to that body part. So inhale. And as you exhale, send the roots out from underneath your head, going through the pillow, through the mat, and into the ground, almost like a weight sinking you in. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax your eyes and your nose and your mouth. It includes your tongue. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax your throat, the backs of your shoulders. Allow everything to just fall. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax the back of your arms, your elbows, and your wrists. The roots weighing you down. Inhale. And as you exhale, allow each fingertips to just fall and all effort to ease away. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax your spine and your belly. Allow it to just be. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax your hips and your thighs, backs of your knees, just falling. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax your calves and your ankles. And bringing gratitude to your feet today, for it carries you far more than what we give it grace for. While you lie here in the Shavasana, I'm going to read a passage for you, and then we'll have a few moments of silence to allow for everything to just sink in from today. So with your awareness to the soles of your feet, The soles are our foundation. Every step we take in life begins here. They are our direct connection to the earth, our grounding cord. In yogic and energetic traditions, the feet are seen as sacred. They carry us forward, they support our purpose, and they absorb the imprint of everywhere we have been. In traditional Chinese medicine, the kidney meridian begins in the sole of the foot, the energy of deep life, force, survival, and trust. When we open the soles, we are gently opening our sense of safety in the world. Notice if there is any resistance here, if you felt it in this practice. The feet often hold tension from moving too fast, from pushing forward, from carrying more than we need to. With each breath, imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet into the earth beneath you, heavy, supported, held. You don't have to grip, you don't have to embrace. You are supported. Let the soul soften and let the earth hold you. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into the room by wiggling your toes or your fingers. Give one big inhale and stretch your hands over your head as if you're tensing every muscle, stretching wide. And then as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. You might want to rock a little from side to side until you can rock to whatever side feels intuitively right to come into a fetal position, allowing yourself to just sit for a few seconds. And then when you're ready, you can take your hand, the top hand of whatever side you rolled on, and allow it to push you up into a seat. If you wanted to stay in Shavasana, you're more than welcome to. And then bring your legs to cross. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Bring your palms to touch, and as you exhale, down to your chest. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and namaste. Have a great evening, and I hope you do your good deeds for the week. Thank you.